Do you feel like a rock that can move anywhere without your opponent taking advantage of you? Or are you just sick and tired of getting zoned all day long? Maybe you run out of jealousy gauge, and your opponent just play it lame because they know you aren't able to do anything. If that's you, I got you covered, since there's 10 tips to win with A.B.A. Now, my first tip is to start using Friends and Astonishment. Now this might seem obvious at first, but most A.B.A players I face just forget that this move even exists at all. It has a 7 frame startup, which I know can feel bad, but it's really useful not just for predicting your opponent, but most importantly to deal with zoning. I'm telling you, this move can make you win games single-handedly. Instead of being stuck with no gauge and getting hit by projectiles, you can use Friends and Astonishment to absorb projectiles instead. And every time you absorb a projectile, you regain 25% of your gauge back, which lets you get back in the game again. By shooting projectiles, your opponent is actually throwing the game and helping you win. My second tip is to learn how to do offense without jealousy gauge. This is another thing A.B.A players struggle with. They don't learn how to apply pressure in a weakened state. Her cornerstone block string should be close slash, far slash, 2H, first hit, 214H, 5K, dash cancel, 214H. The reason we cancel the first hit of 2H is because you stay closer to the opponent. Another thing is that since 214H is so long, you can actually buffer install. This will make it activate if you get the hit, or do 214H if the opponent blocks. After you have established this pressure, your opponent has to either FD you out or air dash to escape you. If they FD you, you can switch things up by doing far slash, walk up far slash. Keep in mind that far slash is only -3. Then you can do far slash 2H or far slash walk back to catch your opponent mashing and get a juicy combo. You can also try catching your opponent with 236K. Try these things out by yourself in trainer mode and experiment. But what if they air dash? Well, you have 2 great ways of stopping this. Either you can 2S, which leads to a great combo on hit, or you can challenge them with your own air buttons. Walking back during pressure will help you notice and react in time if they do decide to try to air dash after the corner. If you want a more detailed guide on A.B.A's normal pressure, I have a link in the description. Keep in mind you can always use 5H to push you back and go into install safely. Now that we have gone over pressure without gauge, let's briefly touch on what to do with gauge. The most basic way to open up your opponent is to use 2H with his low, or 236K which is an overhead. You can also frame trap with 6H in both modes. Last thing before we move on to the next tip is please A.B.A players, do not use stance eye on the opponent's wake up. Unless it's airborne it won't launch your opponent and gives no combo. The only thing you will achieve is wasting your own jealousy gauge. If you want to bait, just do it normally and get a good combo instead. Now on to tip 4, which is to use haul and heal. This is quite similar to tip 1 and it's another thing A.B.A players forget exists. There are so many moves you can go through with this and get closer to your opponent. You can also use it to go through projectiles. This paired with Friends and Astonishment will aid you neutral a lot. Now for my 5th tip, it is to know your optimal wall breaks. Most people aren't thinking and do this. By doing this, when it won't kill, is to actively throw the game by putting A.B.A in her lose condition. Yes, she has one of those. This is because A.B.A with no gauge is a very little threat to most characters. And by doing the super 1-on-1 kill, you actively put yourself at a great disadvantage. A patient opponent will just wait the timer out or look for opportunity to strike. Here are your optimal wall breaks: Key Grab, Wild Assault, Keeper of the Key, it doesn't use gauge, uninstall into lowest key is king. The lowest key is king if it's going to kill. If you do not want to use a resource, just use 6H or Charge Dust if you have the time. Now my next tip is to use normals into Wild Assault and then changing and swaying. This will actually frame trap if someone tries to mash, and it's a great way to get into install. Now here comes another quick tip, and that is to uninstall, and by that I don't mean the game. I mean changing states. Many A.B.A players let their gauge run out without switching and regaining their gauge, so please start doing that and thinking of when you can switch back. Tip 8 is about keeping an eye on your gauge at all times, and ending combos early with key grab to recover it, because if you don't keep an eye on gauge, you will just end the combo automatically when you run out. It feels like I'm quickfiring tips right now. Anyways, tip 9 is about A.B.A's dash. Her dash is actually unique in that she can hold back to block automatically during her dash. Other characters have to FD to block instantly while dashing. There is also Johnny who can't block during his dash. So every time you dash with A.B.A, please hold down back. Now, my last tip is to learn your goddamn combos. I'm so sick of seeing A.B.A players who don't know basic stuff. Like they miss 2k to the key grab. It makes them feel like a bully when they don't do basic stuff. So for that reason I have a combo guide on my channel that should pop up on the screen right now. So go check that out. And if you think this video was helpful, please consider subscribing, it will motivate me to make more videos. Thank you very much.